Welcome to Live Daf, your online Daf Yomi Shir.
Shalom Aleichem, welcome back to today's Daf Hayomi Nazir Chafei. We are holding on Chaf Daled and Beis on the last line. So the Girsa, according to the Bach, reads like this: Meis v'hayu lo mois sutumim yiplu l'nedava. Back to the Mishnah that the Gemara, brought a couple of lines ago, regarding a fellow who was a Nazir, set aside some funds towards purchasing his behemoths, which include money for chatas, money for oila, money for a shlamim, and he passes away, leaving the money unused. Now, if the monies were not yet earmarked specifically, which one is for chatas, what's for the oila, it was just left unlabeled. So you have a satchel of money meant for the three karbanis. What do we do with that money? Yiplu l'nedava. It is directed to the nedava, to purchasing of oilais, karban oila, in the Beis Hamikdash. Asks the Gemara, how can you do that? How can you take, the oila money in this bundle surely is deserving of being directed towards an oila to oila. But what about the shalamim money, meant for purchase of shalamim, not meant to be, burnt on the mizbeach? It's a different function. What about the chatas money? We have chatas funds mixed into the bundle here, and chatas funds are not meant to be used at all, as we're going to see later on. It's meant to go to the Yam HaMelach. So how can the Mishnah tell us that the entire fund goes towards oila, towards nedava? Two answers. Rabbi Yehuda halacha ibn Nazir. This is a special halacha leMoshe miSinai. Any leftover money, which is unlabeled, any Nazir funds unlabeled, go to nedava, despite the fact that it has chatas money in there as well. Reish Lakish Amar, it's a pasuk. Pasuk says, L'chol nedreim, u'lechol nedvaisam, bring all your vows and your donation, all your karbanis. What's the point of this pasuk? Don't we already know that oilais and shlamims are brought to the Beis Hamikdash? What's the point of the extra pasuk here to tell you? The Torah here is teaching us moisar neder. Any leftovers of a neder, such as the leftover money of a nazir, unused nazir funds, yehil nedava is directed towards nedava. L'chol nedreim goes to l'chol nedvaisam. That's the drush. Despite the fact that there is, money in there that was meant for shlamim, it was meant for chatas, it all goes to l'nedava. But that's only because it was setumim, right? Because it was not yet labeled. But if it's mefurashim, the halacha is different. Why? Asks the Gemara, Bishleim le Rabbi Yehuda, Damar halacha ibn Nazir. According to Rabbi Yehuda's approach, that this idea of yiplu nedava is a halacha meshmer Sinai, specific to Nazir funds. Amat halacha, that explains why setumin it only applies to setumin. Mefurashim loy, but the halacha was not said regarding mefurashim. That's treated differently. When it's moist mefurashim, then the Mishnah tells us what to do with it. The oila money goes to the oila. The shlamim is used to buy a shlamim, and the chatas money to Yam HaMelach. Because this special halacha meshmer Sinai is only by stumim. Ela l'Reish Lakish. But according to Reish Lakish, who learns from the pasuk of l'chol nedreim l'chol nedvaisam, if that's the case, my area setumim, why are we limiting this halacha to unlabeled money? Afilu mefurashin, even monies which were meant for specific purposes, for chatas, for oila, for shlamim. If it's remnants, if it's unused, leftover neder money, send it to nedava. Amarava, you can't say that. Mefurashin, if they're earmarked, loimatas amers, you cannot apply this idea. Kvar paskatan v'Rabbi Shmuel, because the Tan v'Rabbi Shmuel in his brayso has already paskant for us, has already set forth for us that in the case of mefurashim we treat it differently based on the pasuk. Which pasuk? Ra kadoshecha asher yulecha unedarecha. This is a pasuk in Dvarim. Your kachem, your nadarim, you bring to the Beis Hamikdash. Now, of course, we know that karbanos are meant to be brought in the Beis Hamikdash. What's the point of this pasuk? It's coming to add, to include, to cover another element of karbanos. Bivlade kachim. Suppose a behema, a carbon, has a child as an offspring. Ubetmurasam. We have a carbon which was tmura of a carbon. So you took a behema, put it next to the the oil, and you said this is going to be tmuras. This is going to receive. This is going to be sort of an extension of the original carbon. So these aren't the originals. These are either offspring or tmurais. Hakosav medaber. That's what the pasuk is speaking about. And what do you do with them? Mata kanasam. What's the modus operandi? Tiso basal amakim asher yivchar Hashem. Bring it up to the chosen place of the Beis Hamikdash. They also have kedusha. We have to treat them accordingly. Now, what do you do up there in the Beis Hamikdash? Yochel yalam lebeis hachbechira. Perhaps what you're meant to do with them is as follows: bring them up to the Beis Hamikdash, but don't be makar of them. They're not suitable for hakrava. They're not the original. V'yimna mehem mayim umazon. You withhold from them food and drink, so that they just pass away. Perhaps that's the method. Take a look at the next pasuk there. Dvarim Yud Beis Chav Zayin V'asisa Oila Yisecha. You meant to be makar of that carbon oila as an oila, even though it's not the original. It's a temura of an oila. And the pasuk concludes, V'adam Zvachecha Yishavich V'abasayir Achel. You meant to eat it as a shlamim. That's referring to the vlad or the temura of a shlamim. An oila can't have a vlad; it's a zachar. So this pasuk in effect is teaching you, treat them like an ordinary carbon. To teach you the same process applied to an oila. Applied to the temura of an oila. The same with the shlamim. The same process applied to an original shlamim. Applied to their offspring. So leftovers of oila, of shlamim, whether we're speaking about of vlad or temura or even monies, unused monies, who are intended for purchase of oila or shlamim. You take them and you use them for the same purpose. You buy with it an oila, a shlamim, and bring to the Beis Hamikdash. Yachol af vlad chatas utmuras asham kain. Here comes the punchline. But does not apply. This idea does not apply to chatas and asham. If a chatas, which is in a keva, has a vlad, or an asham, which is a zachar, can't have a vlad, but has a tmura, perhaps the same thing applies. The yachal af vlad chatas utmuras asham kain, that you bring these leftovers, these unused elements of chatas asham to the Beis Hamikdash. Tamad loyma rak. This pasuk on Dvarim Yud Beis Chavav starts with the word rak. It's a mute. This doesn't apply to chatas v'asham. Rather, any leftover chatas goes lemisa, goes liyam melach if it's money. And by the asham, it's meant to be converted to an oila. You send it out to pasture till it gets a mum. You buy with it an oila. Or monies, leftover asham monies are used to purchase an oila. Divrei Rabbi Shmuel. So here's the psak of Rabbi Shmuel that we alluded to before, which answers our question. So the Nazir leftover monies which are mefurashin have already been designated. This is chatas, this is oila, this is shlamim. So in that case, we treat it differently. The chatas funds go to chatas. They go to Yam Melach. The shlamim money goes to buy shlamim, and only the oila funds are directed towards the oila, towards the nadava. Rabbi Kiva, you don't need this extra pasuk of rak for the asham. The asham we already know elsewhere. Harayu Omer asham hu. We have a pasuk back in Vayikra Zayin saying, look, an asham is asham hu. What's the word hu coming to tell you? It is what it is. Vaviyasa yehi. Only the original asham is treated like an asham. But any tmura, any monies that are left over don't have the din of asham and are treated differently. Okay, so that's the answer to the question. Again, we focused on the Mishnah, a Mishnah which tells us that a Nazir's leftover money are directed to Nadava, and the question was, why? We have all sorts of monies in there. Chatas money, oila money, shlami money. Rabbi Yehuda says, it's halacha l'moshe Sinai, but it's specific to Mois Tumim, which were not yet earmarked for specific purposes, in terms of specific karbanis. So, if he leaves over this unmarked satchel of money meant for the karbanis Nazir, it all goes to Nadava, which means oilois l'ketam ezbeach. Whereas Rish Lakish says it's a pasuk. Leftovers, remnants, extra nadarim go to the nadava. but it only applies to sasim. But if it's mefurish, you have chatas money lying there that will be treated differently based on Tanad Rabbi Shmuel, who learned from a pasuk that chatas leftovers are treated differently. Let's go back and analyze this price. So we mentioned the leftovers, the tmura, the vladis of the oila and the shlamim. Perhaps we'll take it to the Beis HaBchira, to the Beis HaMikdash, and we will not be makriv. We'll withhold sustenance and have it die. That's the hava amina. No, Talmud Leimer, the pasuk tells you, treat them properly. Bring them as a regular carbon. Asks the Gemara, why would we even think that they're going lemisa? Amai havlad chatos or the gemirin b'misa. We know that there's halacha meshmer Sinai that by chatos it goes lemisa. So the 5 forms of chatos which go lemisa: havlad chatos, Tumuras chatas, a chatas whose owner passed away, a chatas whose owner already got kapara elsewhere, and a chatas which is too old, past a year. Halach Moshe Sinai tells us those will go lemisa. Why would you think to apply that to an oila, to a shlamim? Answers the Gemara, ilav kra, because if not for this pasuk telling you that the tumuras oila v'shlamim are meant to be brought as a carbon, havamin, I would say, true, it's not exactly like a chatas. Havamin avlad chatas b'chol makim, avlad chatas. You put lemisa anywhere. That's the halacha. V'lo kachim, the offspring of these karbanis, the non-chatas karbanis, the oila and the shlamim, they also go lemisa. But they have an additional stipulation, the Beis HaBchira, you must do it up in the Beis HaMikdash. So that sets them apart from a chatas. But perhaps you can't bring them as a carbon, rather they're going lemisa. Kamash Malanda loy. That's why the pasuk tells you, Adam. Actually, they're so different than the chatas. Vlad chatas goes lemisa, but these are brought as a carbon. Furthermore, the Brisa tells us, Ketani yochel av vlad chatas utmaras asham kain. Perhaps, just as the vlad of the other karbonis are brought as a regular carbon, the vlad of chatas and tmuras asham are brought likewise as karbonis Talmud Leimar rak. It's a miud. Those will not be brought as regular karbonis. Lama likra, why do we need a pasuk? We just mentioned that it's a hilchas akmirlo. We have a lachmesh Sinai. That the vlad chatas and tmuras asham are not brought as a regular carbon. Gemir lo vlad chatas lamisa azl goes lamisa. Hachinami, you're right. Ukra la asham with the asa. The chatas has a halach mashim Sinai. We don't need a pasuk for that. The pasuk is going on asham. Now the tmuras asham does not have akrav. Asks the Gemara, well, you don't need a pasuk for that either. That's also included in halach mashim Sinai. Asham nami, regarding the tmura of an asham, hilchas gemira. It's learned by halach mashim Sinai. Kol sheilu b'chatas meisa. Any situation where if it's a chatas, it goes lemisa, like the tmura, etc. But asham roy, if you find an identical situation by an asham, it's left to pasture, you get a mum, you sell it off, you buy with today an oila. Clearly, it's not meant to be brought as a carbon in itself. You have to convert it to an oila. And this is learned from halach mashim Sinai. We don't need a pasuk. Ella says the Gemara, the answer is like this. You know why you need a pasuk? Even hilchas, only from that halach mashim Sinai. I mean, I would think hilchasi, it's only lechatchila. Not to be makriv it as a chatas and asham. Lechatchila. Preferably, don't do that. But b'di'evet, very unique. In a deiraisa, you have a lechatchila b'di'evet. V'akrivi, but if he proceeded and was makriv it, regardless, lai l'chayiv v'lai klum. Okay, it's done. He won't get any. He won't be liable. He won't have done an aver, an isser, an asay or lois asay. Nothing was violated. Kamash one kro. That's why we need the pasuk. Rak tells you the makriv le koyim ale basay. Only the oil and the shlamim can be brought in this fashion. But the leftover chatas and asham, if he's makriv it, the rak, don't do it. It's excluded. Only these and not those. It's a lav habo mechlal asay. It's a lav which is extracted, a negative extracted from a positive. Only these, the oil and the shlamim, are treated this way, but nothing else. And if he violates, he's over a mitzvah saseh. We don't need the pasuk rak to dictate the asham's status. How are you, Omer? We have a pasuk, another pasuk for that. Asham hu laviyasi yehi. The asham in its original form is brought as a carbon, but not the copies. Lama likra. Why do we need a pasuk? There's a kasha on Rekiva specifically. Why do we need a pasuk for the asham? Gemara, Gemirla, we have halacha Moshe Sinai, kol shebachatos meisha, any situation by a chatas which goes lamisa ba'asham, if an identical situation arises by an asham roya, it's left to pasture and be converted to an oila. And here you can't say, Tesis points this out, here you can't say that according to Rekiva, true, the halacha Moshe Sinai tells us the general halacha, but the pasuk is adding a mitzvah haseh because the word who is not a mitzvah haseh. Rak is. Only makriv of these and not those, but who doesn't have the ring of a mitzvah haseh. So what's the purpose of the pasuk once we know from the halacha Moshe Sinai? Answers the Gemara, you're 100% right, hachi nami. V'chi asa kra, the purpose of the pasuk, asham hu, is for a different halacha. Look, lidarav, to teach you another aspect of the halacha of the asham. Damar vuna marav. It's teaching us another aspect of this halacha of asham roya. Damar vuna marav. Asham shanitak l'riya. You have an asham which is no longer needed, and you send it out, give it to the shepherd. Go have it roam the pastures, and hopefully it lands a mum, and you sell it off and buy with it an oila, right? So it's nitak l'riya. It's been detached from the rest. It's been sent out l'riya. It's been relabeled, so to speak, redesignated. This is going l'riya, no longer. Slated for hakrava personally, it's going to be go converted to an oila. And a fellow goes ahead and actually approaches the animal and does a shchita l'shem oila, which was really its final destination. It was going to be converted into an oila. Kosher, it's fine. You know why? Tama de nitak. That's only because it was sent out to pasture, and it was already sort of redesignated to be used, to be redirected, at least monetarily. It's going to be sold and used for an oila. The nitak, it's been separated and detached and slated for oila, and therefore, if you actually make this animal an oila, it's kosher. Taisa says, lo b'soif, because eventually dam of hayonofin oila was going to be end up being an oila in any case, not in itself, but in monetary terms, it's going to resold for an oila. It's going to be, if it gets a mum, it's going to be sold, and the money be used to buy an oila. So it's already sort of destined for oila. But prior to sending it out to the shepherd to pasture, while it's still at home, it was not yet earmarked, redesignated for oila purposes. In that case, if he shechted l'shem oila, it's possible because he took an asham. It's currently still statused as an asham, and he turned it into an oila. That makes it possible. How do we know this? The Amakra, the pasuk says, "Hu asham hu" indicates ba'aviyasa yehi. It retains its status until it's sent out to pasture. So that's the point of the pasuk asham hu. That even though it's going to be used for an oila, but you should know that as long as he still has full control, it's not been detached and redesignated. It's not been sent out l'ri'iyah. You can't manipulate it at this point. If you do it l'shem oila, it's possible. So this is another aspect of the halacha, of this extra stringency that we find by asham. Even though it's extra, it's not needed. And in fact, it's going to be redirected towards the oila scene. It's going to be sold and money used for the oila. But as long as you still have it, before it was sent out to Re'iyah, you can't manipulate it. If you change it l'shem oila, it's possible. Okay, so we had a Mishnah. A Nazir left over some funds. So we have mois stumim, unused Nazir funds, not yet designated. You can send it all in a dava. That's the halacha, either because of halacha Moshe Sinai or because of the pasuk of Reish Lakish. Unused nadarim go in a dava. What about mifurashim? That's a totally different story. In that case, we say the Dmei Chatas goes to the Yam HaMelech, as per Rabbi Shmuel's pasuk, as per Rabbi Kiva's. That's Rabbi Shmuel's pasuk, which includes even the asham leftovers. Right, that Chatas v'asham are different than the oilas and shlamim. So Chatas money goes to the Yam HaMelech, and the asham is redirected towards the oila. Rabbi Kiva says by the asham we have another pasuk of asham hu. The question was, why do we need psukim for the remnants of Chatas, for the leftovers of unused Chatas and ashams? We already have a halacha from Sinai telling you lemisa by the Chatas and by the asham it goes l'ri'iyah and turns into an oila. And the answer is Well, according to Rabbi Shmuel, we need an extra pasuk to add mitzvahs asay. It's not only in violation of the halacha, if one is to take the extra asham and chatas and be makriv normally, there's a mitzvah asay as well, and that's learned from the pasuk rak. And we're concluded that Rabbi Akiva's pasuk of asham, who's telling you a unique halacha. The unused asham, which is meant for re'iyah, meant for oilam, but if it's nishchat before re'iyah, for the same oilah, it's possible because as long as it's still by you before sent out the re'iyah, it still retains its asham status, and the asham cannot be shechted shaloi lishma. All the best to you, Atzlacha Rabba, and B'suras Tevis.